Good evening and welcome to the Lagos studios of IATV. I am Adegboyega Labiron. 24 hours after the acting director of Lagos State Fire Service, Rasaki Musiba, was abducted, there are still no trace of his whereabouts. Musiba, who resides in the Ikorodu area of the state, we gather was on his way back from Ekpe on Saturday when he ran into his abductors, and up until Monday evening, close sources say there is no contact yet with his family, friends, and colleagues. ITV visited his office at the headquarters of the State Fire Service and our reports.
It was a Monday full of uncertainties for many of the firefighting men under the Lagos state government. Their boss, Rasaki Musbau, was on Saturday evening abducted by unknown gunmen along the Ikorodu axis of the state, and up till Monday evening, there are still no clues as to his whereabouts. According to eyewitnesses, the acting commander was whisked along 6 other victims, including a husband and the wife, whose children were abandoned by the abductors at the site of the incident. At the headquarters of the State Fire Service in Alausa, Ikeja, where the acting commander's office is situated, many of his colleagues are still in shock. They are not just worried that their boss was kidnapped, but the fact that the abductors are yet to make contact with the family 2 days after raises questions on the intention of the act. Though none of his colleagues could speak with the press, the general feeling is that of empathy for their jolly good fellow boss. They are now calling on all concerned authorities to expedite actions to bring back their acting commander. Thompson Andrew, IATV News, Lagos.
And now to Kwara State, where the people of Ofa are calling for justice 1 year after the 6 banks were robbed and 33 persons were killed in cold blood. They say justice will ensure that such an ugly incident does not reoccur. 5 commercial banks and 1 community microfinance banks were robbed during daylight on the 5th of April last year, and 33 persons, including policemen and pregnant women, were killed by robbers. Banks in the ancient city closed for business for several months after the incident, thereby paralyzing activities. Speaking with newsmen in his palace, the Olofa of Ofa, Oba Muftau Damosi, said the people of Ofa have moved on with their lives after the incident. He said the community has constructed a new mobile police barracks to fortify the security of the town. Also speaking, a member of the Kwara State House of Assembly from Ofa, Sahid Popola, noted that justice for the masterminds of the robbery incident will forestall a future reoccurrence.
Moving on, we've gone to less level. After the handing over of the barrack, the Inspector General fulfilled his promise by sending the Mopo, and the banks quickly reopened. And if you go around the town, you will see the activity bubbling as normal. It has happened. Therefore, people will always want justice. We want justice to take its course without politicizing the whole situation.
It's a very sad development. I want to tell you that it has been a very terrible thing for the community. But thank God we are moving on, we are coping, we believe in God, and we know God Almighty will come to our rescue. I want to tell you that that day was a very bloody day for the community. And there is no any day we remember it that will be in peace. We will not be happy at all.
And now to Ondo State. Economic empowerment through knowledge and financial stability will give the average woman more confidence to aspire for leadership positions in the society. Wife of Ondo State Governor Betty Anyanwu Akeredolu made the submission at a meeting with women in Akure, the state capital. While briefing the women on the outcome of the 63rd session of the United Nations Commission on the Status of Women, which she attended, Mrs. Anyanwu Akeredolu said necessary infrastructures must be made available for every girl child to thrive in the country. She noted that there must be concerted and collective efforts for gender equality in the society.
The theme of that meeting was provision of infrastructure to protect women and girls in attaining gender equality. Women of all nations, including women of Ondo State, can have a forum where they can interact with other women to share experience, to share their concerns, identify gaps on how we can attain gender balance.
On the outcome of UNCSW 63, with the ultimate objective of evolving a plan of action in promoting the welfare of women and girls in Ondo State.
In Nigeria, a UNICEF survey revealed that 4 out of every 10 girls experience child molestation, while 1 in every 10 boys experience sexual violence. And when it comes to emotional violence, the statistics is similar. In Lagos State, for instance, the 2018 report of the Domestic and Sexual Violence Response Team of the Ministry of Justice shows a 134% increase in cases of rape, defilement, and domestic violence. Reacting to the alarming rise in the number of reported child abuse cases, a child rights advocate and some other parents who spoke with IATV News described the act of molesting children as a sacrilege which has to be brought to the barest minimum.
To be more enlightenment programs in schools, churches. This is where churches can play a good part. Churches and mosques.
Men that usually have high libido tend to have a kind of release, and they find a younger child to really do it with. And sometimes loneliness also are the root causes, because when 2 people are left alone, maybe probably the adult maid, and the younger one that is supposed to take care of.
In my opinion, children that are usually molested are of the age when parents or guardian should still be on them. Like, eyes are still supposed to be on them at that age. So one will be wondering, how did this child, at what time was this child accessed to be molested? Although I take cognizance of the fact that this kind of molestations also happen in the home.
From experience, people are involved in child molestation because they don't understand the gravity. They don't understand the fact that it is about the future of the child. No child goes through molestation.
Speaking on the case of over 2,600 children who are exposed to domestic violence within their home and in the hands of close relations in the year 2018, the respondent said the case of child abuse and molestation was still underreported.
There should be more enlightenment programs in schools, churches. This is where churches can play a good part. Churches and mosques, where imams or those in charge can have sessions with members, probably during a service or prayers. They talk 5 minutes, 10 minutes on what should be done or what adults can do to children.
The first place is to educate the children. The reason why these people can abuse children is because nobody tells them that their body is private to them. We must introduce sex education into the schools. You must educate the teachers on how to. Because in sex education, people are worried. How can I go and talk about sex? No. Tell a child, you're private. You're pronounce it.
What happens today? It is when the culprits are arrested, prosecuted, and even jailed, for them to realize their mistake, for them to learn, and for others to also learn. For instance, they
added that the government at all levels have to take the domestication of the Child Rights Act seriously to have a good framework for adequate prosecution of child abusers and molesters in the country. Some youths in Osun State have staged a solidarity work for Governor of Osun State, Gboyega Oyetola. The youths came together under different youth organizations across the 30 local governments and the area council of the state. The youth said the governor has embarked on various social intervention programs, which the youths are benefiting immensely from. They maintained that the solidarity work became necessary to sensitize the people of the state that the youth are solidly behind Oyetola and as the governor of Osun State.
I want to tell the masses that Oyetola is still the present governor of Osun State, and he has given the youth a proper administration that we are going to support his government, and he's going to move us to a prosperous height.
We, the youth of this state, are still solidly behind him. We believe in a bright future of the youth through him. So we are solid. We are not shaking. We are solidly behind him.
There have been rumors here and there that Governor Oyetola has been sacked. We have come to show our support and to let the whole people, the whole state know that Governor Oyetola is still our governor and we are in support of him. And that's why we are coming out in our mass as youths, being the backbone of this state, that Governor Oyetola is still our person.
These are the type of youth that we want in this country. Peaceful demonstration, solidarity for the government of the day is the best any state government can achieve.